Hello YouTube, welcome back to another Let's Play video. In this video we will be playing Grounded. Now it is a slight departure from the typical games I play, which I've been playing a lot of roguelikes recently, but I really enjoy my playthrough I did of Grounded, and when talking to somebody recently, it reminded me how much I actually enjoyed the game, more specifically the combat in it. At first it feels insanely difficult and hard to master, but once you start learning the basics of it, it becomes insanely fun to play. And I think that's what makes the game really fun, is the combat mechanics feel really well fleshed out. They feel really well done. So without further ado, let's hop into a new game. It has been a while since I've played it. I will leave it on the basic settings of just medium, and we'll go ahead and just accept what we got. As for characters, we'll just play with Max. It's fine.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey, I'm Willow. Willow.
My name's Peter. My friends call me Pete.
Allie. Who?
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah, we'll play as Max. I don't really know if it makes any difference. What do we want to call this world? We'll just call it YouTube. I'm bad with names, so don't expect much from me. Honestly, I'm surprised I came up with the YouTube name I have right now, which is Dapper Damon. I'm not going to explain too far into it because, yeah, I just, I don't feel like I just feel like it fits me very well. I'd rather not go into the details of, how I came up with the name. Maybe if I was more comfortable sharing more about my personal identity, I'd maybe get into, sharing it.
You think you outsmarted me? The mighty Muldoon? I don't think so, Yokeskirth. Stay tuned for what happens next on Yokeskirth. Now a word from our sponsor. Kids, are you ready for a new wild and wacky punch-o fruit flavor? Introducing Apricot. It's a punch to the gut. So stop by, fill up, and make sure you get your Billy Hog hot dog before you jet away.
Good morning, Brook Hollow. Today is October 20, 1990. This is your news. We have a special breaking report. The police department has released information that more local teenagers have gone missing. They were last seen earlier this week, and the only connection between the teenagers is that they are all students at Brook Hollow High School. This could be linked to the disturbing trend of other possible abductions and missing teenagers from our otherwise quiet town. If anyone has seen the teenagers or has any other information, please contact the police department. The mayor of Brook Hollow has put a curfew into effect for anyone under 18 starting tonight. Now to other news. In the business world, popular practical technology, science,
I wanted to let the cutscene play out and not talk over it because, I feel like, I don't know, if I was watching the video, I'd be interested in, watching that part of the cutscene, being, hearing what the person has to say rather than, hearing the YouTuber yap over it, you know what I mean? But yeah, no. One of the things I didn't mention about why I like this game so much is I just love that, I grew up with those, cheesy movies of, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, or, those types of movies. So, and it really, feels like you're just in one of those movies. That's what I really enjoy about it. But it has been a while since I've last played this game.
What? Damn. Where am I? Are those roots? Nah, can't be.
Ooh, a little sensitive. Hold on.
Those prank TV shows. Alright, Gonna be famous.
Okay, I think I just turned the DPI down on my mouse so I didn't have to. I turned the DPI down on my mouse so I don't have to, like, actually open up the menu and mess around with that.
Signal detected.
What was that? Some sort of radio signal? I wonder where
Let's
it's
grab some
coming
basic resources before we go over there, because the more I can figure out here at the beginning, the better I'll be. Yeah, no, it's been a very long time since I've last, like, played this game.
from. Well, someone had to have set up all this sciencey stuff here. But still, I'm not exactly sure where this is and what is going on. I should keep looking around.
Alright, got some basic crafting recipes early, which is always nice to have. Alright, cool. I think the only thing left I have to... Well, besides these mushrooms, this really matters. Again, getting all the basic resources researched first is really important. Nice. Now if I go to crafting menu here, what I need for a pebblet axe. I need 3 sprigs and 1 crude rope, huh? Well, I can get the crude rope, I just need to get 1 more sprig. There we go. I can craft the axe now, and the next thing I want to craft is a spear so I can do some damage. Are those clubs? Honestly, this game, you need a balance of weapons. You can't just do like just one type of weapon and expect to be fine, because different enemies deal, require different types of damage to kill them. Again, there's a lot of parts of this game that are like really interesting, and it's what makes the game feel fresh and exciting every time you play it. I'm trying to remember what the button is. It's X. So if I use it, I can peep at creatures to see their weaknesses and their like resistances. Yeah, it's been a while, but this is definitely one of those games that I do enjoy coming back to from time to time. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get enough resources to craft me a spear. Did I get enough already? Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna craft one of these spears, just because I need to have a weapon and then a tool, right? That's why I didn't want to turn my DPI down, because then it's like super slow in the actual menus. Do I really have it that low? It does not feel like it's 24%. Man, there's no way to like adjust the number by typing it in. It kind of feels weird, but that still feels really fast. Hey, don't you run away from me, Weevil. Alright, so look for more science equipment. Well, I think that's the obvious science equipment, but I believe that first wants us to go over here. Again, now it's been a while since I've actually played the game, and I do have an old save file. I just haven't played much of it.
Wow, what is that?
Oh yeah, I forgot that you can go inside here. That's, well, you also need to like, okay, I haven't actually completed the game, right? I got like really into it for a couple of weeks and then just stopped playing the game.
was a fool to have ever doubted myself. A fool like Klein, like Kaminsky, like Schmechter, like all of Ominent. I am here in the backyard. Down in the backyard. I mean, I am speaking to you from the backyard. I am tiny! I should gather my thoughts. This is a momentous occasion. Windle Dolly official log, 89.08.05. Recording as I take my first steps into the miniature world. The sights are unbelievable. The textures, the way the light falls upon every surface, the subtle patterns in all of the objects that surround me. The grass! Even common lawn grass looks like a structure from an alien world. Wait. What's that sound? The very earth is trembling. Over there, what could it be? An ant! My God, today, the world has changed forever.
Man, though, it is wild. Like, again, I haven't heard these voice lines in probably over a year now because I haven't played this game in that long. I completely forgot about, like a lot of the basic parts of this game. And I'm glad I'm coming back to explore the game. Alright, food. I also gotta find water, but for now, let's see what this machine does.
Just like laser tag.
Oop.
Nothing happened. Looks like the other two lasers are blocked. After
I
all
can-
that build up, this big mysterious computer doesn't do anything.
Well, I don't quite need these yet. I do plan on building a base or two, probably multiple, honestly. Like the first base, I would like to have just one base because it's easier to kind of like have everything in one spot.
Honestly,
To be able to, like-
is not big enough to squish me.
Yeah, having everything in one spot would make it easier for like organization purposes, which is why I don't really want to change anything, or I don't really want to change my mind on like having only one base. But there's also like the obvious downside of like if once you get to like further and further areas, the need for multiple bases start to arise, where
That was refreshing.
if you don't have multiple bases, you're gonna have to do a lot of traveling back and forth, especially to get like some like or just to get like important resources back to your base. You know, it's very important to have like multiple outposts you can drop your stuff off in without having to worry about, you know, struggling with enemies later in the game.
Come here, you little green sausage.
Like I said, there's a lot of parts of this game that I just find really like interesting. I should scan these guys.
Marking a location.
God, every time I want to just hit
Spotted you.
the mouse to peep the creatures, but it just never works out in my favor. One of those things that I'm kind of disappointed in, you know, based on like the way the game is designed, is the well, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's one area that's like completely unnecessary. So going to explore that or like fixing something in that area kind of makes the rest of the map like more difficult to deal with. I need a torch, and I don't think I have the crafting recipe for a torch, do I? And it's like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just it can make the game a bit more frustrating. Kind of hoping for some glow shrooms in here. Oh god. How do I get rid of pins again? Do I gotta go on my map to remove the pin? Alright, cool. Yeah, I have to figure out how a way to see in there, right? Right now, it's like, obviously sap is important for it. Oh, it unlocks it after you walk in. Okay, never mind. I'm just being stupid about it. And I need dry grass chunks. How do I get those again? Can I get them from these? I can. Not surprising that all the stuff you need is like right nearby. It's like really like smart game design. Because it like teaches you what resources are used for what like recipes. Without like being directly in your face about it. I was thinking there was going to be something back there, but no. Ooh, managed to pull off a perfect block. Yeah. Perfect blocking is one of those, like, hidden mechanics that the game doesn't necessarily tell you about. Where it's like, if you manage to block them at the right time, you parry their attack, stunning them, as well as, like... So it stuns them, giving you the option to, like, hit them. I need a hammer to destroy those rocks, and I don't have any recipe to unlock hammers yet. I can also put away my torch now, which I don't know. Oh. Well, it's definitely not that button. I'll tell you that much. I genuinely have no idea how I do it. Again, it's just been so long since the last time I've played this game that I'm not gonna lie, it's not my specialty. Or do I just have to hit the button again? Oh. That's why I couldn't see it, is because I was looking at the wrong hotbar.
Nice snooter, dude.
There we go. That's the right hotbar. There we go. Yeah, no. My plan is I want to finish... I want to do a lot of these, like, basic beginner quests first. And then as soon as the basic beginner quests are done, I want to start doing some exploration and base building. Actually, I'm thinking I have an idea for where I might want my base to be. That's going to be pretty central. Like, it's far away from some locations, but for the most part, it's pretty centralized.
Something that sounded like a big far-off explosion?
I did indeed. Alright. Well, there was a quest to craft bandages, but I don't have bandages, do I? No. Therefore, oh wait, I do have bandages. Alright, well, we can craft it. Oh, I don't have the recipe unlocked, do I? What's, oh, it's saying it's using a different recipe, but... Now, one of the scariest parts of the early game is coming up pretty soon. Every time. Stop it. How do I remove a waypoint? There we go. I really need to, like, change the buttons for me. Because I'm doing that so often. Don't need the juice drop right now. Would be nice. Okay, so let's be making my way towards the tree. Might as well grab more resources while I'm thinking about it. Because otherwise, I'm going to be low on resources when I need them. More specifically, let's see. What resources do I need? I need some more peplets.
I don't want any trouble, Aunt.
Yeah. Yeah, early game, there are some enemies, and I will warn you, the enemies are spiders. If you have arachnophobia, I wouldn't watch this game. These spiders are some of the most terrifying early game enemies you can fight. For the most part, they're not that bad. Like, they're hard to fight enemies. They have quick attacks, and until you start learning how to properly use, like, perfect block, or like the parry block, or whatever you want to call it, they are insanely difficult to handle. This is an ant nest. I don't want to be in here. Got it. Seeing the ant down there made me instantly realize what this is, and that I want to get out as soon as possible to keep the soldier ants from attacking me. Because honestly, I have a harder time against a crowd of ants than against a single spider. Speaking of, again, fair warning for anybody who has arachnophobia. You can exit now without being horrified, but there should be. I see the legs of it right there. Yeah. There are 2 wolf spiders in here. These are the more difficult variation. There's another form of spider, and we should see them around this area. Like, not exactly here, but they will be nearby. Ladybugs are harmless until attacked, so it's best to, like, unless you feel strong, it's best to avoid them for now. Well, I could probably handle it with, like, how much I've played the game before. It's definitely not worth risking, like, early deaths to it. Especially when I don't have any, like, proper armor or anything like that this early in the game. Max, are you going to say your line, or is this just going to appear on screen? It's a weird bug to experience. What are some things I want to learn about first? Crude rope would be extremely useful to get, now that I think about it. So what I'm going to do first is make a crude rope, just so I can examine it, because it's used in a lot of tools and things. Yeah, spring bow, acorn shovel, pebblet hammer, those are all, like, super important to have early game. I guess the thistles are next. Again, I don't really necessarily need anything else right now that I currently have. So actually, I might.
Should probably find somewhere to crash.
Oh, the clover. I need the clovers analyzed because it will allow me to make a, like, basic bed, I think. No? I thought it did. That's on me. Alright, well. Not much I can do about that now. Oh, now it will let me build lean-to. Invalid surface. I had to go outside to use it. But if it's becoming nighttime, that means the wolf spiders are going to be on the prowl because they're nocturnal. At least in the game. But honestly, for now, I'll hold off on using it. Yeah. Most spiders in the game are aggressive, or I think all spiders are aggressive in this game. There's a lot of passive creatures, but there are a few that you might not expect to be hostile that are like continuously hostile. For example, soldier ants. No matter where you run into a soldier ant, it will always be hostile to you.
I have isolated the source of the particle irregularities. They appear to be a byproduct of the shrinking process. If I adjust the machine to account for their existence, it should be the key to the de-shrinking, expanding process. Burgle, please bring up the readings for the irregular covalent SNPI 42Z particle traces. Ugh, that name is going to get tiresome. And while you're at it, rename all references to the irregular covalent SNPI 42Z particle to Raw
Science.
Order received. Raw science identified. Does it require cooking, flipping, or grilling?
No, none of those. Categorization.
That answer is not permitted, according to health code standards governing the handling of raw food items.
Burgle. Oh, gotta push the button first. Security lockdown, in fact. Oh! I don't know if the water coolers are new, if they've always been here. I just never noticed them. I will take the sap, though. Sap is extremely useful. Battery backup failure, battery backup failure. What's over here? Oh, just look at that. It's purple.
I got your back. Give me a quick second.
System reboot in progress.
I'm gonna have to get this clover in that
Helping hand.
sprig just to get it off my screen, aren't I?
Burgle, acting science manager for this project. I am also a robot.
Hi,
I'm
Burgle.
sure this all must be very disorienting for you, but hopefully I can explain. I suspect you were miniaturized by Dr. Tully's spacer device. Why are you here in the yard? I do not know. In fact, I cannot seem to recall much of anything.
Then you're really not much help, are you, Burgle?
A recent power surge has caused a massive raw science containment explosion. This lab, as you can see, is a disaster.
Oh, well, yeah.
And what's worse, the explosion has disrupted my computing power. My memory banks are corrupted. Sorry to pile on the bad news, my new friend. How can I be of service? You are here, in the Oak Lab. Built and used by Dr. Wendell Tuteli to experiment on all things small. This is the base of operations for conducting experiments in his yard. Dr. Tully is a brilliant scientist and inventor.
Okay.
He's also my creator. My initial protocol was to serve as the short order cook of the future. However, I have been recently promoted to acting science manager to assist with his experiments. No doubt my previous work experience has been invaluable to Dr. Tully.
I don't know. That tape that was in the other room didn't sound like it.
Although, now that I am processing it, I have not seen him for several weeks.
Not a very good assistant, are you?
And now I cannot recall where he went. It must be my corrupted memory banks. It seems you and I are both a little discombobulated. Given my best calculations, your biomass has been subject to covalent spacing reduction via interatomic energy extraction.
In English?
In other words, you have been shrunk. It is likely this was achieved using Dr. Wendell Tully's spacer platform, patent pending. Shrinking can be a traumatic experience for tiny human brains, and memory loss is a known side effect. Hopefully your memory will return in time.
How do
To
I...
return to your prior size, you would need to successfully activate Dr. Tully's spacer platform. Unfortunately, my readings indicate it is inoperable. It appears to have suffered several malfunctions from the explosion. I am sorry, but it appears you may be stranded here for some time until we find a solution.
Well, can we fix it?
Haha! That is a great idea. Let me run a full diagnostic scan on it and see what we need to do to get it fixed up. Processing! Processing! Memory fault. Code 408B3000. Ominent OS script runtime error. Arg. I am sorry again. It appears I have sustained more damage to my memory chips than expected. Without those memories, I do not know how to repair the spacer.
Really are just the worst assistant, aren't you?
Dr. Tully used two types of chips to back up my memory. Auxiliary chips are small capacity chips used to store project data. If you find these, I should be able to help you learn new survival recipes.
Wasn't that just great?
Super chips are special, and they are gold. They back up full directories of my memory system. If we are going to fix the spacer, that data is bound to be on a super chip. I suggest exploring the other labs in the backyard. Return with any memory chips you find. Dr. Tully has built many more labs throughout the yard.
Well, can you tell me where they're at?
Each lab is used for various experimental procedures. I can upload their locations to your Scabby. Stand by. Processing.
Processing.
Error. Files not
You
found.
really are just useless, aren't you, Burgle?
C404. Cheese and fries. The lab locations are missing from my memory banks too. But we are in luck. I was able to retrieve the location of one of the facilities, the Hedge Lab. The Hedge Lab is the observation center of the yard and used for research on arachnid webbing.
I don't like the way you say that.
You will find the hedge near the house if you head southeast. The lab is located deep inside the hedge, sending the coordinates to your Scabby. Try to find the Hedge Lab first, but there is nothing stopping you from searching the yard for the other labs. Except, of course, thousands of angry, hungry insects.
Why did it change color?
That reminds me. Dr. Tully locks the important labs with biometric scanners. You will need access.
Excuse
for
me,
any
I'm now
chance of
distracted by
success.
the fact that my text box just changed colors randomly there.
Head over to the ASL terminal.
All I
and
did was
place
put
your hand
my
on the biometric
mouse
scanner
over it.
Give it a moment to sync your signature into the mainframe. Once you are registered, you will be granted access to the ASL network of computers
Here's
too.
two.
ASL grants access to daily work items, nay, tasks, nay, quests, yes, quests. I will reward you raw science for each completed quest. In my science shop, you can trade raw science back for survival recipes from experiments that Wendell conducted when he was first exploring the yard. Log on to the ASL terminal over there and see what is available. Unless you have any other questions, you really should get started finding those chips. And try not to die out there.
Really comforting, aren't you, Burgle?
Have an exponentially great day.
Really just the most comforting out there, aren't you? Hey, try not to die. Okay. Assume this is raw science. Okay.
You never told me science could
I
be
really-
this exciting.
I just want to hit you. I wasn't sure the game would let me hit him. Super duper. Open the door. Put my hand on the machine. Oh, I gotta hold it. I really gotta start reading these prompts instead of just assuming that's just press E. And I need the assistant manager's key card. Oh wait, can I
Let's see
scan
what's around.
Burgle? Where you at? Oh, I can't peep you. That's no fun. Has this got its energy back? It did get its energy back. Alright, I'm actually going to do the sap, but then I'm going to wait on the other two charges until I can get some other things that may be more important. For example, I don't really care about you right now. Also, I want to get rid of this build lean-to menu, so I'm just gonna build one real quick. Oh man, it's like my real life sleep schedule. Non-existent. Alright, we can recycle it. Alright, let's see. Now, there's a few things I want to do. One of the things I want to do is I have to craft a pebblet hammer. I really need one just so I can start breaking down some of those like big items. And I'm also going to need an acorn shovel, but I can't do that until after I, use the pebblet hammer to get some more resources. More specifically, acorns. And here I got myself trapped in the weeds. There we go. Yeah. Busting acorns is going to be needed for, again, basic resources. They're not like super important, but they will help me with like getting some basic crafting gears, like getting the shovel and also getting armor. Armor can also be made from the acorns, which is again super important. And it all depends on like what kind of I'd say what kind of build you're going for, but each area and each like enemy has like different requirements or different like builds you really want to aim for. Oh, you need a higher level tool. I'm sitting here trying to break it, and I like not even paying attention to what it's telling me, which is the fact that I need a tier 2 hammer to actually break it. Okay, so I need to analyze a grass plank at a analyzer to progress one of my missions. Alright, well with that in mind, get me some grass plank. Or get me a grass plank. I can make my way back to the lab with all the resources I currently have on hand. And do some analyzing, right? Like I mainly want to analyze the acorn pieces. Now, one of the reasons you want to build something like a hold on, I gotta go in here and get myself some soda out of this can, because apparently I am almost out of food and water.
Yeah, I'm in a can, and it's pretty grand. I don't know. Just pick it up, and it'll explode ya.
Don't. You're trying too hard there, Max. Alright. I need to eat and drink. Because I am... Oh, it's because I'm holding the leads that I can't eat. Look, it's food. You don't got time to complain here, Max. Would you rather starve to death? Alright. Pretty much maxed out on water. Could use a little more food, but the mushrooms don't provide much, and I don't have a campfire to cook the the weevil and the aphid that I have. Yeah, super friendly guys. They're weak to hammer damage, aren't they? Yeah, busting. Now, fresh, spicy, and salty are basically effects you can add to your weapon using, not effects you can add to your weapons, but oh god, that is terrifying to like accidentally walk that way. and run right into a spider. That's not the path I intended to go. Sorry, little spider friend. But no, they're like, certain weapons have those innate features, and other weapons you can like add some of those features to it. And what it'll do is like certain enemies are weak to certain things. So it's like salty, obviously. Some enemies are weak to salty, some enemies are weak to spicy, some are resistant to spicy, some are resistant to salty. It's just like super important to keep in mind what enemies are weak to what. Alright. It wants me to analyze you, so I will analyze you. Alright, now I can start building shelters. This is one of the things I wanted to do eventually. I just hadn't gotten around to doing it. Yeah, there we go. There's some basic armor you can get, which is extremely important, and a water container. Again, really important early game stuff. Hence why I wanted to analyze it as quickly as possible. Nice. So we're set up with a decent amount of like powerful early game stuff. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is build a workbench. Alright, so that can wait for a little bit. What we're going to do is find a spot where we want to build our base. Because where we build our base is kind of going to be where everything stems off of. We could build it here, but it's going to be really close, which is really close to like a few of the areas. Like this is like, that area is like the late game area, so having a base here would be nice, but it's closer to 3 wolf spiders, which can be potentially dangerous and risky early game, which is not something you really want early into the game. You kind of want to have, especially because like, yeah, you can only make a base out of like grass planks for now, which isn't the sturdiest material in the game. Oh, I did also want to make a shovel if possible, so I don't need this grass plank anymore, so craft one of you. I also would like to start getting my hands on some of the armor, because we can go heavy or light, but each one has its own like benefits. But you need a workplace for, or a workbench to build them. Now, the reason we wanted an acorn shovel, we want to stay in this area for the acorn shovel, is because there's a specific resource you can get in this area, and you gotta find you see that little shockwave over there? You gotta dig up those. You understand what I mean when I get over here, because it spawns grubs. And grubs have what are needed to build a canteen, which is probably one of the most essential like survival items in the game, because as you can see, resource management such as water and like food is super important to like focus on early game. Again, a lot of this is like early game stuff. Once you get later in the game, it's not as bad, but like, I mean, it's as bad because you still need water and food to survive. But these like early game resources are basically going to determine how well you survive in the beginning. With that, I should have enough to make a canteen. Again, I'm playing by myself, so I don't really have to worry about it too much. But yeah, so this is just basic resources. If you were playing with multiple people, you definitely have to collect a lot more. But again, this is the benefits of playing by myself. Now, if I remember correctly, I should be able to eat the acorn pieces as well.
I'm not picky.
That should give me a pretty decent amount of health. Alright. So next is the plan is going to be collect some water droplets while making my way. Well, collect some water droplets and trying to figure out where I want my base to be. I definitely don't want it to be in the same spot I had it in my like offline playthrough, because while it is a really good spot, I did like it. It was good defensively, except for the fact that I built it near an ant hill, which means if I like stepped out on the wrong side of my base, there was a lot of worker ants that could attack me. And mainly for no particular reason. They would just be like, you go to the wrong side and they're trying to defend their colony, so they're going to attack you. Must be near another lab location. Ooh, stink bug. Nah, that's something I want to run into. Again, early game. Oh shit. Again, benefit of playing this game a lot is I got decent at perfect blocking. Nice.
Meals on.
Even if it's not like, I'm not like amazing at it. Like obviously I still took a hit of damage there. But I also got used to having a mutation, which is something you unlock by completing certain challenges.
The best punch to the gut you'll ever take.
And the one I got, the mutation I got was a perfect block, like timing extender. And what I mean by that is like it makes the window for what counts as a perfect block just a slight bit like larger. And let me tell you, that is like one of the most useful mutations you can have when learning how to do perfect blocks, because man, can it be tough sometimes. I mean, even with some of the like late game enemies, like the wolf spiders, have attack patterns that can hit you like 3 or 4 times in a row, making it super tough to handle and deal with. Ah, I fucked up the perfect block there. And that, again, it's a very risky maneuver to do, because you end up in situations like that where you just die because of your own, you know, stupidity. Is the best way to put it. You die because of your own stupidity. Alright, I gotta go get my stuff that dropped, which is over in this area. Oh shit. Ooh, hidden raw science. I forgot this was down here. Again, I was being a bit, you know, risky there with just like running around like I was. One of the items I want to craft eventually is a bow, because my main like weapons of choice when I was playing by myself was a late game weapon called a spicy katana. Super useful when you're trying to take out the wolf spiders. If I remember correctly, wolf spiders are weak to spicy. So the spicy katana actually deals massive damage to wolf spiders, and it's just a great late game weapon to have. But I also used a lot of bows and arrows and crossbows, or, you know, stuff like that. I did have other weapons. I had a spear for certain enemies. I believe these larvae. Oh, speaking of spiders. Oh god. An orb weaver junior. Yeah. Yeah, most of the spiders are weak to slashing damage, which is what the katana did. Gotta run while I heal. Man, these band-aids don't heal for a lot, but the little bit of health they do give is really nice. Alright, Orb Weaver Jr. Yeah, I had to like rebuild my muscle memory for this game. I was getting super cocky with like the easy enemies,
Snuffling along here.
that these like tougher ones are like really showing why I shouldn't get so overconfident. Yeah, that's just the baby version of the Orb Weaver. especially like when you're really new to the game. Oh god, it's coming this way. Yeah, when you're especially new to the game, dealing with like those orb weavers is like one of the toughest like challenges you'll have until you start facing some of the real big bad enemies. Like I said, orb weavers seem tough until you realize, oh no, they're not that bad.
Ah, yes! I love this backpack.
I've thought about this in circles for days now, and I've come to a decision. It's time to restart spacer development. Almanin may not believe in it, but I know its potential. Though I must figure out how to return shrunk objects to their original size. The first step will be to address the particle transcription errors. It seems almost certain that the irregularities are responsible for the failure during the demonstration. Burgle, please bring up all the lab data about the unknown particles.
Yeah, we want to...
Happy to be of service. Notes will be prepared and delivered to your table in 4 hours or less.
4 hours? What are the chances for less?
Delivery estimate will be prepared in 2 hours or less.
An auspicious beginning.
For some reason, I thought the canteen could hold more. Maybe I'm thinking of a later stage canteen. But yeah, no. I also don't want to be around this area at night. Ooh, spiderlings. I forgot about you guys. Hey. Pretty weak enemies, all things considered. I should, though. Hey. Thank you. Oh, what are your weaklings? Spicy. You're resistant to stabbing and fresh, so... Actually, might want to switch to my axe here. Yeah, those deal way more damage. Yeah. Again, the other thing with like perfect blocks is it can be tough for like multi-hit attacks or multiple enemies. Situations like this where you're facing multiple spiderlings, or you're dealing with like a multi-hit attack, it's best to like perfect block the last hit while just blocking the regular hits. Where'd you go? God damn. There's so many of them. Honestly, at this point, I just might switch over just to the spear just because of how quick it attacks, even if they're resistant to it. I also gotta learn like their range of their attacks. Like I was so used to fighting big, tougher enemies that these short range spiderling attacks really are hard to predict for me because it's like I keep expecting it to like go further, like them to like basically jump at me, when in reality like run up to you first before they attack. Man, that was a lot of annoying spiders to deal with. Alright, I'm gonna have to make more band-aids because my health is dangerously low. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna climb up onto this box first. I believe there's a spider den under this for a wolf spider because I saw a hole in the ground and I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Alright, so while I'm up here I want to craft fiber bandages. I'm going to craft many. With that being said, I think that's going to be the end of this first episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun jazz. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever, and bye-bye.